What's happening out here is Trooper Lloyd Hickson with NHP. So what ramps are back open?
We do have the 95 South that goes to I-15 North is completely open back up, and we're anticipating within the next hour that we will have the I-15 to southbound ramp open back up. Where engineers did go out there, they did go ahead and look at it. There is some damage, but it is still structurally sound, so they made a decision to go ahead and open it up. Traffic will be able to flee, but of course they're looking at, making an emergency contract to get that seal fixed, but nothing that's going to pose any danger to our commuters that use that ramp.
So earlier this afternoon, right after that earthquake hit, shortly before noon, we were looking at this gap here. If we can show you up there, you said it was about a 6-inch separation. However, you say the damages they're not as serious as first thought.
That's correct. When the engineers come up there, the head engineers came out, they did a better assessment of what's below it from what we initially thought were some structural damage underneath. They realized that no, it is not. There is a little bit of damage, but nothing that has compromised the roadway, nothing that will require us to shut it down completely. So the decision's been made to go ahead and open up. They will be open up through the weekend, but of course they will look at repairing it as soon as possible.
And Trooper Hickson, we were also talking about this cable underground that we couldn't see that might have been damaged. Do we know what's the update on that?
Yeah, that's the same thing. They realized that, it did sustain a little bit of damage and nothing that has caused that ramp itself to be structurally unsafe, so therefore that's where they made the decision. They're going to continue to go through there. They are going to have those repairs that need to be done, obviously, because, yes, that separation did occur. What they're determining part is that earthquake. That rubber seal that we were seeing earlier, that completely tearing from end to end was a result of that earthquake, but itself as the ramp, no, nothing structural that would not allow us to be able to use that full-fledgedly. But of course, again, we do need to get that seal repaired along with some other maintenance that'll keep it updated and of course keep it better going throughout.
So temporary seal is on the ramp right now. Do we know when that might get permanently fixed?
Well, they're looking at, of course, when they said they're going to do that emergency contract. They'll get a contractor to come in here. Of course, they'll do what they need to do, and from there, decide how long that will take. Looking at what they do. Usually it may be days. A lot of times what will happen is we do have a major thoroughfare like this that we see a lot of traffic. They'll make the repairs overnight to minimize the impact on any kind of traffic during the day. We know with this holiday weekend anticipating a lot there, so it may be something that may not begin until early next week after the Labor Day weekend. But at this point, we do know that people can safely use that ramp.
Perfect. Trooper Hickson, thank you very much for that latest update. So again, we do have all the ramps here at the Spaghetti Bowl reopened. At least most of them, or all of them rather, should be open within the next hour. Only minor, what it seems to be damages to the on-ramp from southbound US 95 onto southbound I-15. But again, drivers can drive comfortably. Paula and Dave, it seems they're going to get these ramps, all of them, back open soon.
Karen, that is good news as we head into another busy weekend here in Las Vegas. Our traffic anchor, Demetria Obalor, came in this afternoon to keep on top of all the traffic delays. Demetria?
Hey guys, all right, so here's exactly what is back open. You're looking at southbound 95, all of these cars curving off by this green sign here. That's the exit to I-15 North, so that's not a problem. Traffic here is actually headed to southbound I-15, but it appears those are the people who merged on from MLK because the crack on the bridge is on the southbound 95 transition to southbound I-15, and as you just heard from Trooper Hickson, that has not reopened quite yet, but soon enough. Let me show you what these delays look like now. An hour ago, this was terrible. This is right by South Rancho, and traffic is starting to flow again, but you see people trying to exit a little bit earlier here at Rancho, kind of moving a bit slow, but definitely improvement from earlier. Let's take a look at my map so you can get a better idea of exactly where this is. Of course, we're talking about the Spaghetti Bowl area, the busiest interchange in the state of Nevada here, and still seeing some yellow and reds on my map here. You can, of course, get off a little bit early at South Rancho, and if you want to get onto I-15 South, well, you can take Charleston to get there. So right here, get off at Rancho, merge over to Charleston, and jump on I-15. No issues there as of yet, but I'm watching it for you guys. Back to you, Paul and Al.
Demetria, thank you. Even though the earthquake was centered about 100 miles north of the Las Vegas Valley, local emergency managers are watching the situation closely.
Joe Bartels continues our team coverage. He's live at the College of Southern Nevada campus near Charleston and Torrey Pines to explain how this quake is being monitored. Joe.
Paul and Paul, there have been about 14 aftershocks after this initial earthquake around noontime today. Initial estimates put this earthquake between 5.3 and 5.4, as you said. Those estimates have been downgraded, but even though this earthquake was felt more than 100 miles away from the epicenter, take a look at this video here. This was video, home surveillance video sent to us by Adam Stymus. You can see on the timestamp there, right at the right corner there, it was about noontime today in the frame because he just a little bit of shaking, and that's what a lot of people felt, depending on where you were in the valley. Some people report a sharp jolt, others never felt a thing. But the impacts have been felt hours later in terms of traffic and the damage to the 95. The United States Geological Survey says the quake happened just before noon local time. This was considered a shallow earthquake, which was less than 7 miles below the Earth's surface. It happened on a strike-slip fault, which is a common type of fault line about 125 miles north of the Las Vegas Valley.
It turns out that the earthquake was shallow. The shallower an earthquake is, the more energy gets dissipated on the Earth's surface. And so if it was a deeper earthquake, we wouldn't feel it as much on the surface. We'd still detect it, but we wouldn't feel it.
Geologists say there will likely be a series of smaller aftershocks like we've seen. There are about a dozen identified faults that are scattered throughout the valley. None of those were responsible for the shaking today. So Clark County Emergency Management, they have initiated a level 1 type response. They're simply just monitoring the situation. There was no need for a huge response from Clark County nor the city of Las Vegas today. Reporting live, Joe Bartels, 8 News Now.